welcome to another episode of Presence Practice with Poonam and Parker. Hello, Poonam. Good to see you over there today. So today's topic is orphans. I was just chatting with Poonam, and she was sharing a story about how Deepak Chopra had noticed that that everybody's kind of gravitating towards celebrating this single status in the world and not coupling. Do you want to finish sharing that, Poonam? I thought it was powerful.
So I'm not sure what video he said that in, Parker, but he was saying that he does snippets on Facebook, and in one of the short videos he was saying, look at how humans are actually meant for connection, because yeah, we have single moms and we have single dads and discrete families. Like, we don't no longer have that extended family, right? Before, maybe 100 years ago, the uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody lived in an extended family in the same house. But look what we are doing with technology. We are taking that same connection and building an internet, and we are building a social media network. So people in Australia are connected to people in the US, or people in Japan are connected to people in all over the world. So we are building that connection. Like, consciousness has taken that need for connection, and the reflection is in our social media.
I think yes, and there's broad social media where it's anonymous, people touching, so no one needs to know what the other person looks like, with the places like, I think it's called Imager and Reddit. And so that's sort of a more anonymous global platform where people connect and about various topics, but it also connects people spiritually. So people all over the world waking up, it doesn't, irrespective of religion or culture, economics. It's a very beautiful thing. So you're probably wondering why this episode is titled Orphans. And I think that this line of observation that you've made, Poonam, is it is what is. So we saw the breakup of the tribe, the breakup. So really there's an erosion that's happening just with the people, not dictated by politics or, things that float to the surface that are not a vibration. It might be prevalent, but what you see is this breakup of the family. So what rises to the surface in the media is this, this judgment, this harshness, this fear of what's happening with that. But what's happened is you have lots of people that have evolved away from their family structure, or sometimes they've that it's not been an evolution away other than geography, right? They're still very connected. I have felt as if I was an orphan in the world for most of this form's life, and I have had the opportunity to be part of many families, and the ones where the family was very healthy and beautiful are the families that were very open to nurturing orphans like this form in this world, were kind and loving, and could see I was not the other. I wasn't seen as the other. And so these families, they're not breaking apart. There's not violence in them, but there's a looseness and openness and inclusiveness. So Oprah did a short with a farmer that had sheep and other livestock, and the little lamb's mother had died a few hours earlier, and the little lamb was hungry, and the lamb would so the farmer likes to give that a couple of days to see how it sorts itself. And he said it was to be difficult to watch because the lamb would go and try and get milk from the other mothers that were nursing, and they would push him away, but violently push him away. And so he went and sat in a field by himself, and he figured out to get nourishment from one of these mothers, he could walk behind her where she wouldn't see the lamb, and he could get fed that way. And the first time he did that, he went and he laid in a beautiful meadow and yawned and fell asleep. He was so satisfied that he had gotten his needs met and been nourished by this other mother's milk. But when he woke up, what he had was a deeper awareness. And I'm saying it could have been a little she lamb too. It had an awareness of what else was beyond the herd. So the little lamb started to interact with the dogs and the goats and the cows, right? The humans. Was a child of the farm, of nature, right? So this, and I think the same is true for human beings. We become children of the world, and we're connecting with lots of people very deeply with a different kind of love, a different quality of love, not a possessive love or exclusive love, right? The exclusive love of I will love my family the most, right? That breaks up when you're outside of the core family paradigm, and that is what unity is about, right? There's a meditation Joel Osteen talks about where we have if we put all our attention on our fingertips, put all our attention right there on our fingertips, then we're not aware of the palm, which is the whole. But when you're an orphan and you're no longer focused on the fingertips or your family or your exclusive love for family, community, college, any kind of exclusive love, and we focus on the palm, then we are aware not just of the palm and our oneness and our unity and our wholeness and sameness with everyone around us. And we're also aware of our own innate qualities and gifts that have been developed when you're orphaned in this world. So, it can be a seductive thing for orphans to sort of martyr themselves in this aloneness, this isolation, or they may try to create this superior image of rising above it all and, celebrating just the courage and all of this. These are just details. They're just the details of the story. And we can get wrapped up in that, but it's just a path to falling asleep, right? So.
I feel the same way too, Parker, because for me, I'm in a different country I've moved from one country to another, right? So I'm having to, and I have no relatives here in the US. So anybody and everybody is the friends that I have, I've forged in the past 20, 25 years, I've forged such excellent, beautiful relationships with friends, right? I remember my labor and delivery nurse. Like, if we are open, it could be anybody that can provide you with that bond and that love and affection that is needed. She's the one, like when I was getting my, what do you call it? The injection. Um, she held me, like she made me put my head on her shoulder like a mother would. Can you believe it? And she's just a labor and delivery. When we are open to it, like the universe arises to support us. My mom couldn't come for my delivery, and my labor and delivery nurse just nurtured me like a mother would throughout that whole process, right? She made me put my head against her shoulder and just held me like tightly so that I could feel the love pouring out. So I have this like such an open heart about love doesn't come from relatives, that it can be anybody, right?
It can also come from relatives too. There are many people that have their circle of friends, family, and their circle of DNA family, that their ancestral family, and they have both, and they consider them both to be family. The next step to that is just everybody. It's everybody. It's letting go and of these concepts of what exclusivity or merit is. This person merits love, and ultimately our loving attention, to be spacious and silent with another human being or whomever's in front of us, to be spacious there. That's loving. That might be the highest love that we can offer a human being. I mean, it may be all these things we can do with our senses and creativity to express it, but the best thing, the highest thing that I've experienced is to be spacious and to leave people and situations alone. Let's say you're an orphan right now and there's no friends, that you're completely feeling isolated and alone. You know, what we really, where it all starts is inside of us, with ourselves, with recognizing the kind of thoughts that we're having, and to start to disidentify. So we have particular strong physical reaction to some thoughts, which makes the identification that much more contracted, tight. Maybe don't focus on the story, focus on inside your body, and do maybe a golden heart meditation, and start there. Don't try to seek out and say, well, maybe let me prove this voice wrong, that I really do have people that love and nurture and care for me and I'm not recognizing. Hold that for a moment and move inward, move into your heart space, into your body, into the witnessing presence, the awareness of awareness. Think back there, and you'll know that essence it's the same feeling as you were when you were 2 years old, 5 years old. It's unchanging in a changing dream. Move into that unchanged space, loosen your heart, and then move out into the world. Maybe right now you're not really feeling connected to other people. Consider how many meditations I've been to, or meditations that I've listened to or heard about, where the meditator is sending unconditional love, joy, peace to all beings on the planet. That includes you. That includes me. Right?
That's really, really beautiful, Parker. Oprah was interviewing Sufi saint Llewellyn Van Lee, and he uses this word, the relationship of a Sufi with God is a relationship with the beloved. So that's what I do with my meditation. So when we are left alone, when we have those periods of solitude where there is no one around, we are with our beloved. Right?
Which is not separate from us. Yes.
So when we are that one consciousness in that presence, we are with our beloved. We are the beloved.
Yes. And it could feel like the wave. Eckhart uses is it an analogy or a metaphor? But the wave. So sometimes when we can be an orphaned, or we're doing a lot of doing and not a lot of being, then we can feel like the tip of the wave. We forget that we're part of the ocean, and what you're describing is returning to the ocean. You're not identified with the frothy tip of the wave that's coming through. You are the ocean, right? And then you can recognize that there's another wave and another wave, that everything is ever changing. And that I love how you describe that you are with the beloved. It's where you return home, where you die before you die. And then it's not your will, the ego's will. It's not my will, but thy will be done. You're an empty vessel. In the beginning of Kim Eng's Qigong movement practice, which both Poonam and I recommend wholeheartedly, she does a visualization where you're standing rooted, and you envision that your spine and that your neck is bamboo. It's empty and clear, right? And to stand in that bamboo. The bamboo is sturdy but flexible, hollow, right? And so we become hollow, and then allow what is coming through you to come through you, right? Without making a specialness out of it. Doing lots of nurturing and self-love will keep the ego, because sometimes what the ego will do is it moves from being the victim and the martyr and the specialness to over here to a different kind of specialness, someone that's mastered something or highly spiritual or something. So just be mindful that those are just stories, and it's a lateral move of the ego, and you can drop that too and just see what comes through you. This is this soul, your being, and came through in this life to realize a new earth, to become the evolving human being, to liberate the thinking mind from its insanity. Yeah.
Good point to stop.
It is.